Hi, I'm Drew.
And I'm Sam.
And welcome to Drewling Samantics.
Morning!
Oh, yes, it is.
How you doing, buddy?
Oh, well, I'll state the first issue. I'm
Yes?
in bed. Whose stupid idea was it to get up and record at this time? I didn't even know this hour existed, except for in the evening.
I know, mate. I mean, it's performers. I mean, we're not ready before 10 o'clock, are we? Let's face it. But could I just say that it was actually your idea, Sam?
Well, yes, yeah. I mean, it wasn't my idea. It was necessity dictated work and other stuff and blah, blah, blah.
Absolutely.
But do you know how early it is, mate? Look,
Go on.
I'm drinking water.
Ooh, that looks remarkably like a glass of water, Sam.
Yes, it is, yes.
Too early for a beer.
Even I wouldn't do beer at stupid o'clock. But anyway, hello, mate. How you doing? How's things?
I'm very well, thank you, Sam. Honestly, I mean, it is early, but it is a lovely day, and it's lovely to see you, and great to be recording. So yeah, all is good. How are you? Apart from being a little bleary-eyed.
Well, yeah. Other than that, I'm fine, thank you, mate. Cracking along, or plodding along, probably is more accurate. A few bits coming up, but a little bit of I was going to say a low point, not a low point, like a sort of a bleh at the moment. Do you know what I mean? Like you get those times, don't you? But
just slows down, doesn't it? Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Whereas you, I imagine, are full steam ahead, packing, sorting things out, getting ready, lines, etc., etc. Don't you kick off soon? Aren't you away soon?
Very nearly, yes. Where am I away? I'm away next week. So that's sort of midweek. Down to Lyme Regis for 3-4 weeks of shows down there with the lovely Sue Gilroy, who we met and I worked for last year. Absolutely. So yeah, we had a blocking rehearsal for a couple of days ago, just so that we could take photographs of rehearsals and get those on as a little PR for the theatre. So we've done one day's blocking, which was interesting because it's sort of kind of like completely out of context. So we did a day's blocking, and then we got a week, and then we'll go and pick up rehearsals when we get down to Lyme Regis. So yeah, I'm opening up the suitcases and the holdalls and throwing everything in. Well, I will be next week once I've sorted myself out.
And I take it you're doing it properly this time, because last time you did rep for Sue, it wasn't bloody rep for you because you turned up, did one show, and pissed off again. This is proper, isn't it?
It was a little bit of a jolly last time, yeah. So I mean, as we discussed, I was camping for 10 days, which was for once we'd start rehearsals, was very much a little holiday. But no, this time it's 4 weeks, it's 3 shows. So we open with a thriller, Death Trap, then Alan Ayckbourn's Brief History of Women, and then my last show is Strictly Murder, which is one of my favourite plays, as you know, and I've blabbed on about it
before, haven't you? So.
I have, yeah. So it's really nice to be able to play the same role again, which is one of my favourite roles. And then they've got the last 2 of the season, which is Persuasion and Sweet Angels. So
they're doing 5 this time round.
Neil James, who we've had on as a wonderful guest, he will be doing all 5. So, yeah. I mean, we spoke during the rehearsal. And I said, "How's line learning going?" He said, "I haven't even looked at the last one yet." He said, "I don't even know I'm playing in that at the moment." So he said, "We'll get to that." But that's a long, many weeks down the line. But
absolutely. But yes, to anyone who happens to be local, or anyone that fancies travelling down to the beautiful Lyme Regis, do go and check it out. You'll see this numpty in 3 of them, and some far more talented people in a lot more of them. So,
God, yes.
I am pulling your leg, of course. You are fabulous, sir.
Bless you, mate.
I'm going to try and get down. We'll see what goes on and where I am in the country, but I will do my best. But actually, it's funny that we're talking about going away, because I had a random thought. I was going to say earlier, not earlier, yesterday. Like, earlier was yesterday.
Yesterday was earlier, yeah.
Exactly that. But I was packing and unpacking and repacking the car for some events and stuff. And as you well know, I have what can only be described as a Mary Poppins flight case. So it sort of combines Mary Poppins like never-ending bag with a very secure like case of. Well, it's just the wonders of the world in there, really, aren't they? And
Well, as you are a tech, a tech genius and a lover of technology, there's a lot of tech in that case, isn't there, sir?
there is, yes, but it's essentially my my go-to, my what I rely on when I'm away. But I know that not everyone has the facility to carry such a large case. Not everyone's vehicle can do that. Not everyone can drive or has a car. Certainly in our industry, there's a lot of people that rely on public transport, so they probably struggle to travel. It's not enormous, but it's cumbersome, I think is probably a good way of describing it. And it's quite heavy, but it has a lot of kit in there because I think our jobs have changed. I mean, we've talked about this lots, where modern technology has enabled auditioning to become remote, work to become much more remote. So I was going to say to you, because you don't have an enormous car, equally, you tend to travel light where you can. So when you go away, you haven't got the box of dreams. What do you take? Because I'm intrigued as to what you consider maybe essential or what you have to have with you to keep your business, i.e. you, running.
I think, I mean, you mentioned self-tapes, and I mean, I know in your boxer kit, you've got, microphones and bits for voiceover and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, really, the first thing, I mean, I've always got it with me. Everyone's always got their phone with them nowadays. And for self-tapes, I mean, if you can pretty much get a decently lit room, prop the phone up on a pile of books or something, which I've had to do in the past, you can go for a self-tape. I now have got a small, lightweight tripod to put the phone on. That also doubles. I can stick if I have to, I can stick a ring light on there. So I've got a little ring light that will sit on it in case of emergencies. And it also doubles as well as a mic stand. I've got a clip on it. I can put a microphone on should I need to do any voiceover stuff.
Right.
So the bare minimum that goes into a small holdall, I'll take. Obviously, I've got my phone, but there'll be a little tripod. There'll be a small case with a microphone in, and a ring light, and that pretty much will go into a box, to a little mini holdall. But in there as well, I like now to take with me, if I've got the luxury of having the car, I'll stick a camera in there, an SLR, because I like taking some photographs. But I'll also probably need a tablet or a laptop, so that goes with me.
Yeah.
So that bag has got bigger and bigger as more and more. Because I mean, you may be away, and as you say, there'll be a self-tape come up, but you might get a Zoom meeting. So you've got to have a decent. I mean, yes, you can do it on your phone as we know, but a tablet or a laptop. And then again, I've got work to do. I've got to sometimes keep the job seeking going on. I've got to do my accounts because, we are our own business. You've got to run. So a laptop or a tablet, that's become pretty necessary as well. So that little bag of tricks is getting a little bit bigger, but they're all necessary. We do need them.
It's funny, isn't it? Because we've hit a point now where I think weirdly technology is getting bigger. And I don't mean that in in a negative sense, but you go back to maybe early 2000s and mobile phones were shrinking and shrinking, and it was tiny little things. The invention of the smartphone sort of kicked in, and they were small, relatively small, but obviously bigger. But now we're sort of after bigger screens, and I mean, even things like my laptop now, I think it's got a 16 or 17 inch screen. I remember it being sort of like 12, 13 inch screens. Televisions, not that that's a portable thing, obviously, or it's a lot more portable now than it was, but they've got thinner and thinner, but bigger and bigger. And actually, I I was looking at televisions the other day. Do you know it's now quite expensive to buy a small TV? Because people don't want them, because they're not in demand, they're not made so much. And I mean, actually, we were talking about, because you want to upgrade yours, don't you? We were talking about it. Looking at it, and it's cheaper to buy a monster TV really now than it is to get something a little bit smaller, which is perhaps more suited to a small flat like you have. So technology is getting bigger, but there's more packed into it. So certainly with these sort of like the new style flip phones where you open them out and they're a tablet, they're very clever. They're a bit chunkier, but as you say, your phone kind of does most things now. And as you know, when we record the podcast remotely, I basically just use my phone and a ring light with things plugged into them, because we've now got these tiny little lapel mics and then the receiver plugs into the phone, so you can do proper decent audio with it. And actually, I've done some jobs where they've tended to use smaller tech rather than these enormous big sort of like heavy duty cameras. A lot of them are using DSLRs, like just that happen to have video function as well, because they are that good now and they're compact. So it's a weird sort of flip where people are wanting slightly bigger phones, or tend to want slightly bigger phones now, but other technology is still shrinking. You've still got more functionality in a smaller space. So yeah, it's an intriguing one. And then things like, it depends how heavy, not heavy duty, how sort of in depth you want to go with stuff. Like I've got a green screen that's portable, so I'll often take that with me, because I don't know if I'm away, if I have to do a self tape, that the area I'm in is going to have a blank wall. You don't have to have a blank wall, but it just makes life slightly easier if you do. So you can have pop up green screens. And I travel my editing suite, and I've got, as you mentioned, a portable voiceover kit. So I've got portable sound deadening and a high-end mic and a decent editing suite that goes with that as well. So yeah, I probably go overkill, but doing something like this where I'm editing all the time and doing a lot of editing for other projects, it's kind of necessary to be able to almost multitask on the road. Don't get me wrong, I'm not editing while I'm driving, but to be able to travel stuff has become essential, I think.
I agree. I mean, they say, I mean, most of us are, if you've got a car, you don't have to worry. I mean, I say I've got this little hold all, it's full of all my tech gear, shove it in the car, suitcase, But if I've got the luxury of a car and I'm away if I'm on the road and I haven't got anything, like I've got to get into a crew bus or something, then maybe they'll go, right, one suitcase, one hold all, that's it.
Yeah.
And then you kind of and then sometimes you think, well, is it worth it? Because I'm not going to be in a position to be able to do self-tapes or anything. I mean, here's one. I was touring a little while back, and we were staying in travel lodges. Other hotels are available.
Yes.
But the wonderful thing about travel lodges, they've got these kind of big wardrobes. And I had a little voiceover to do. And I found that if you get the duvet off the bed, open the wardrobe up, both doors, put the duvet over the rail, the coat rail, and then sort of stuff it back with bits and stuff, it makes a very good little recording studio. You can put a chair in there, a chair in front of it, and away you go. I had a really good quality sound from it, really good sort of. I was really chuffed, and I sent this off. And the guys came back to me and said, wow, Drew, how did you manage to find a recording studio in the middle of nowhere? And I went, wow. Well, you do these things. I didn't tell them I was sat in a travel lodge wardrobe. But I had my kit with me. I had a decent microphone with me, and that was in my little kit bag. So yeah, you do have to kind of. I mean, I have propped up phones on books at the end of beds, and in corners of rooms, and we know doing this, recording the podcast, that we've both been away, and we had wardrobes behind us. We recorded in corridors, exactly. But you make it work. But I wonder as well. I mean, as long as that, as well as our technical kit, which has become very necessary. Do you take if you've got the ability to, do you take little home comforts with you? I mean, I know people who sort of like, they take their pillows and things if they can off their beds and all that. Have you got little home comforts that you take?
No, I honestly don't think I do. Like, I mean, it depends how long I'm going, where I'm going.
Yeah.
The majority of the time, for me, I'm not going somewhere and then staying there for a period of time. Like, that has happened. For example, when I was touring with Reflex Theatre, the lovely Callan Durrant, we were doing mostly Norfolk and Suffolk. So I found one digs there, stayed with a lovely lady named Sarah, who actually found it very entertaining that I would rearrange the room quite often to do self-tape. She thought it's hilarious, because obviously you always put it back, but moving furniture around, and as you said, like, if hotels only knew the amount of times we've done things like you were saying about travel.
Yeah.
But needs must, and you just find a way. I've when I first started doing voiceover, I've got an ottoman bed, the ones that lift up and they got storage underneath. So I used to lift that so it was at an angle, like drape the quilt over it and it'd be underneath. Shut the doors, shut the windows, like I do in the studio now. The curtains are drawn, the lights are on.
Yeah.
In 10 seconds, it's unbearable heat. Like, genuinely. So that is the one downside. And I'm much happier now I've got a proper sort of sound deadening booth that's portable, quick throw up, quick put down sort of thing. But no, sorry, straight off your original question. I genuinely can't think of much. If I'm in a dressing room, for example, panto or a theatre show where you're away for a long period of time, things aren't changing, then yes, then you'll set things up, or personally I will set things up, pictures and what have you, and take stuff, because I'll settle in and I'll make it a new home. But I would say sort of day touring, week touring, I personally don't find the time to do that, because I feel like then I'm just taking it all down again. What about you? Have you got anything specific?
I like when I like if I'm away for in one place, like I'll be in digs in Lyme Regis for 4 weeks. I always used to take, if I was on the road, day by day, couple of days here, couple of days there, and if I was touring abroad, I'd always take tomato ketchup with me. It became my thing. I would always take a bottle of tomato ketchup. I don't know why. I mean, you couldn't get it, so yeah. But I always, now if I'm going to digs, they don't have them, and I don't know. It's. I always take a nice sharp knife, because I like cooking, and I know you do as well. But I'll take a nice sharp knife, so at least I've got something I can cut things up with. Because you'll get to digs and rattle around in drawers, and you'll go, oh, there's not of this, there's not one of those, and am I going to do this? And if you're there for a month, you kind of think, I want to, I'm going to need at some point to cook.
Yeah. And
sharp knives in digs are at I forget. Honestly, I've gone to shops and bought a knife, and I've left it in the cutlery drawer in the digs when I've gone. Have a bloody knife, because the next, particularly if they digs that I know actors are going to go in, I think they're going to need a sharp knife. Knives and tin openers. I've left lots of tin openers all over the country. And
I was just going to say, having now heard you say that, yes, tin opener. Take a tin opener, because let's face it, a lot of the time you're living out stuff from tins. Because if you're not getting back till stupid o'clock at night, you don't want to then be whacking the oven on and blah, 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 and eating it at crazy times. So a quick 2-3 minutes in the microwave from a tin, great. But yes, a tin opener, I learnt that the hard way a long way back in my career, that you don't...
Also, in my wash bag, there is, because I noticed that I've got 2 plugs, 2 different size plugs for sink plugs.
Really?
Because... yes, I've gone to so many digs where there aren't bloody plugs in the sink, and I wet shave, so I put a little bit of water in the sink. And if you're wet shaving under a running tap, it's a real pain in the neck, or cheek. I've got a couple of plugs. So sharp knife, tin opener, and 2 plugs, so I can either have a bath or a shave in the sink.
We just emphasised the divide in age there, because you said, I'd take a couple of plugs, and I'm thinking, well, only if you're going abroad, because we use the same plugs everywhere in the UK. No, I'm with you. Right. Okay. But again, on that subject, an adapter, plug adapter, like
Oh
multi-way
yes, yes,
extension.
yeah.
Again, stupid thing, but if you're in digs and there's only one socket by the bed, and these days you got to charge your smartwatch, you got to charge your phone, and you might have to charge like the microphones that I need to charge. You'll normally there'll be other plugs around, but we do need quite a few
Yeah.
electrical outlets these days. So
Phone charger, that's the other thing as well. I always take a couple of chargers with me that will work phones, laptops, tablets, charge cameras and things. So yeah, charging leads and that. I think, and a multi-socket. I think the multi-socket is a very good one. I think that's along with a tin opener and a sharp knife in my case. That's a good call.
It's a top tip for holidays as well. Actually, I don't go abroad very often. Nature of the beast of what we do, but if you're going somewhere where you know the plug sockets are different, take one plug adapter and then an extension lead with multiple plugs on it. Rather than going, well, I need an adapter for my phone, an adapter for that, an adapter for that. Take one and an extension lead, and then you can plug everything in.
Yeah.
I mean, do your research first because you don't want to blow things up and overpower sockets and stuff. Because I know on the continent it can be different.
Not a good idea.
But yeah, there you go. Who said we were just an entertainment and performance industry podcast? We've just given top holiday tips there as well.
Well, no, we're just But and then the other thing is as well, I always take a little office with me, like things to work on scripts and that. So highlighters, pens, pencils, all that. They're usually with me all the time when I'm rehearsing anyway. But if you're right, take those. So so along with the bag of tech.
Yeah.
I've got a little bag of stuff with me that I
love
use.
stationery though, so you do that anywhere.
Yeah. Okay, you do tech, I do stationery. I hold my hands up to that. Yes, an unnecessarily large collection of marker pens.
But no, it's a valid subject, and I guess it's another one of those little things that perhaps isn't obvious when you're in the. It's not just rock up on a set and everything's there for you and ready to go. You do live out your car or live out your travel bag a lot of the time, so you have to sort of broach these subjects and think about things and kind of go, right, I essentially am moving, albeit for a short period of time, but I am relocating my life to another place. What do I need to make that work? What do I need to sustain that? And actually, I think that's potentially another good point to raise for any budding performers and stuff out there, or people just getting into the industry. Do your research about where you're going, because what you
Very good.
take will vary from place to place and what sort of facilities they are going to provide for you, particularly if you're doing something where you need silly things like a lot of the dinner theatre we do is not in places that are set up for theatre. We'll normally be given a changing area, but you can never guarantee there'll be a mirror in there for a start, which is essential, because if we're performing as other people and need to look like something and need to check everything's okay, then a mirror is so take a portable one, but maybe inquire. Like I will always, either of us will, when we're organising an event like that, what facilities are there? Do we have this tea and coffee facilities? Are you going to provide stuff for us? Do we need to take a kettle? Blah blah blah. It seems stupid, and it seems like we're kind of going, welcome to being an actor 101 sort of thing. That's not the case at all. But the preparation really does make a difference and makes your life easier. And when you are working really long hours, doing strenuous things, having to learn and having to constantly do things like that, whether it's the home comforts or the simple sort of easy life hack things that you need, having them there will make things so much smoother and easier to deal with. So.
When you've got them, life is easy. When you haven't, you really know that you think, I could do, and then it's trotting out the next day trying to find a shop to buy something. And it's like you say, if you're in a rural situation or somewhere that's not set up for theatre work, that can be quite tricky. So, like you say, taking things for the dressing room, having a mirror, having your makeup and everything, what you need, because there is no way of getting things. And, but going back, dialing it back a little bit, it's like you say, we're off, we move. we actually, actors and performers and, all everybody in the industry that goes on tour, dancers and they tour a hell of a lot. Dancers are always on the road, bless them. But it's something we just accept. I mean, I left drama school, and my first job was away from home. And for a lot of people, their jobs are, we very rarely work on our doorsteps but it was something I accepted without any question. I went, yeah, I'm going to have to go away a lot.
Yeah.
And I do less touring now. I've done a hell of a lot. I do less touring now. That's for personal reasons. I've got a mum who's getting older, and I like to, to kind of stay around her a little bit more. But she's gone, have a lovely time in Lyme Regis. I know you're away for 4 weeks. But I've never questioned it. I've never thought I don't want to go away. I don't, It's always been one thing that I think and we're all glad to get the work. So none of us question where it's going to be. I mean, there are some occasions that I know people I've gone away and filmed adverts in very strange places, and they've gone, "What the hell am I doing going?" But they've had a wonderful time.
Yeah.
But and it is that kind of we're going away. Little things, one little thing that I'll take with me that, that'll make life bearable, but also, makes it easier to work then. If you feel comfortable, you can work, But, it's very interesting, what you stick in a bag when you leave home.
Interesting phrasing there. Well, it's more the emphasis than what you stick in a bag.
Stick in a bag, yeah.
Yes. But, well, there we go, mate. An interesting conversation to have. And I'm hoping that your packing will go seamlessly. How you're as you said, you're there for a good 3 or 4 weeks, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm there for 4 weeks.
So,
yeah.
So you can be a bit more settled once you're there.
Yeah.
And I guess then that changes your packing setup. And will you go home at any point in between, or are you literally there from?
I'm literally there. Yeah, because we get 1 day off a week. Sunday, which is usually spent learning lines. But no, I will be there. I'll be based there. I do have a car if I need to get back. It's not ridiculous distance, but I will basically be there. So I'll take a good tech kit with me. Suitcase full of clothes and personals, and
that's one other thing. Actually, I'm going to ask then. So
yes,
you've obviously booked your digs or worked your digs out. You're away for 3 weeks, 4 weeks. You can take a largish suitcase, but have you checked washing facilities, i.e. being able to wash clothes? Because I am guessing you're not taking enough clothes to wear something different for every day for a month, because that would be quite a large suitcase. So how do you navigate that one? Because as you know, I have a little bit of a thing with overpacking. I quite like clothes.
Options, Sam. You take options with you, and we all understand that.
Yeah, and anyone that's worked with me in the modelling world will know that I am over-prepared is perhaps an understatement. Yeah, I mean, it becomes a running gag. Like, how can one person take so many clothes for one shoot when you're only there? But I'd rather be over-prepared than under-prepared. But yeah, so is that, and sort of diving back to it, is that another big consideration, the washing side?
No, it's interesting because I don't think about it, but at some point it crops up. Like I've spoken to the lady I'm renting my little chalet from, and she said the one thing that is completely self-contained. The one thing that isn't there is laundry facilities.
Right.
However, we will do your laundry for you. Just chuck it at us and we'll sort it for you, which is really kind.
Oh, yeah.
That's, I mean, sometimes I've got to digs and I've got, I'm straight on to Google. Other search engines are available, but I'll get on. I'll go, where is the nearest laundry? Where are the laundromat? And I've often spent, a Sunday morning sitting there, with watching my smalls go around as I'm learning my lines. Yeah. But I mean, nowadays, if I've got self-contained digs, but if I'm in a lot of theatre landladies or Airbnbs, they'll have washing facilities. But it is something to consider. I'm not adverse to sort of hand washing a little bit and draping it across the room. I've done that when I was touring the Mousetrap, which we've spoken about in Germany. I did take a little washing line and some pegs with me because we had to travel really, really light because we were in a crew bus. We were allowed one sort of small shoulder bag and a small suitcase. That was it. So yeah, we got to theatres, and the first thing we all used to do when we got to a theatre was just throw our washing in the washing machines in the theatre if they had them. But I'd very often do a show. We'd pack up, if we were doing a one-nighter, get to digs overnight, and then it was, quick hand wash, and then turn the radiators on in the room as hot as they'll go, and drape my socks and smalls over the radiators, and hopefully, fingers crossed, they're dry in the morning. Otherwise, it was travelling around with damp underwear for a couple of days until you could dry it. But,
lovely. Yeah. That's just the sentiment we want to give to everyone here.
Drew's damp underwear.
Drew's damp underwear because he didn't take his portable mangle with him when he was touring back in the 1850s.
Brilliant.
And you can only take a small case because the horses can't pull the cart otherwise, can they?
Exactly. There's only so much you could get on top of on the carriage, my friend. Yeah.
We always end up back there somehow, don't we, mate?
Somehow.
God forbid you ever forget that you are ancient.
Don't think you'll ever allow me, will you? Don't think you'll ever allow me.
No, but... Well, I tell you what, mate, it's been a lovely chat. It's really fascinating to sort of see the slightly two sides of it. My sort of more techie side, perhaps, but the fact that everyone in the industry has come around to this point where life needs to be portable to an extent. Yeah. And you are about to experience that because you're off away. And actually, it's relevant to talk about that because you're going to take some kit away because this is our last episode of this season, or last normal, if you like, episode of the season. But we are still going to be recording our best of episodes. So they may well be with you away. We need to see what we fit in and where you happen to be and timings and stuff. But yeah, what a season it's been, mate. Another absolute cracker.
It's been brilliant, hasn't it? I mean, really, really. And I say this every time, but it's really flown by. I mean, this seems to have gone ridiculously quickly. So,
yeah, I mean, what are we? So this is our 13th episode of the 13th season. So what's that? Is that 169? 169? No, my maths must be well off. I don't know.
I haven't got a calculator next to me. I can't do mental maths now. 13 times 13, isn't it? Ooh.
Oh, no, it's not. No, because it's 15 times 12 plus 13. Is that right?
Is it?
Yes. 180, 193. I think, feel free, people out there, to check and correct me, but I think this is our 193rd episode.
All right. Yeah, it could well be.
So we are rapidly approaching the big 200. So, which is mind-blowing. Absolutely crazy. When we started this little thing out about 4 or 5 years ago, going, well, let's just have a moan and see what people think, to still be here now. And we will be back with season 14. So, as I said, please do join us over the next couple of weeks because we'll do our normal best of episodes, which are always great fun. But, I mean, if not for you, for us, because we get to go back and we go, I'd forgotten that person had said that. I'd forgotten we'd had that discussion. Yeah. Oh my God, that happened this season. Blah, blah. There are so many little moments like that. So please do tune in and see if some of your favourite moments are there, especially the guest ones, because like to be able to kind of accumulate all the best bits of our guests and put them all together is always great fun. Really love doing that. So yeah, best of guests will be next week, and then obviously we've got the best of us the week after, and then a short break which enables you to stop worrying about this and concentrate on learning 3 shows. Or well, at that point you'll be into the first one. So
I'll be into them. Yeah, definitely.
So yeah. But yeah, no, as always, mate, thank you so much. It's an absolute pleasure to share the waves with you and to tune in.
Pleasure and a privilege. Yeah.
But more importantly, thank you to everyone out there for listening and watching. You're the people that make this happen, really. Without people watching, it would literally be me and Drew just moaning.
And we don't want that.
No, I mean, it kind of is that a lot of the time. But sometimes we get comments and people get involved as well. So it's slightly different. But yeah, it's it is genuinely a pleasure to be able to call this work, to be able to do this each week, talk to one of my best friends and just kind of have a bit of a laugh, and also like talk about things we love, because that's why we do this, because it is an industry that we absolutely adore. We're privileged to be in it, and we will never forget that privilege or never sort of take it for granted. But equally, I want to just keep having fun and just keep doing this. So yeah,
let's do. Well, let's season 14, couple of weeks time. Well, 4 weeks time. We'll be back with you, everyone.
Yeah, I can't remember how long we're away for. 3 or 4 weeks, isn't it? There's
3 or 4 weeks. Yeah, something like that.
We'll be back next week with the best of. The week after that with the best of. Then we'll disappear for a little bit, but then we'll be back in August anyway. So I think it's late August we come back. I can't remember off the top of my head, but just keep your eyes peeled on social media. We'll keep the updates coming, and please do join us over the next couple of weeks for our best of shows. If there's any particular clips you're expecting or little bits in there, feel free to send them to us, because we haven't made any decisions yet. Genuinely, we watch these back and we have a great time watching them back together to choose what's going to go in there. But if you want to influence it, more than welcome. So keep those messages and what have you coming. Equally, if there are any guests you want for the new season, because we're working on that at the moment, we've got some queued up, but we got some spaces still. So please do that. But until then, cheers to you, Drew.
Cheers, mate.
Else. And have a good one. See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Thanks again for watching this episode of Drewling Samantics.
Please make sure you subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you never miss a new video.
Don't forget, we're also available as audio only. Just search Drewling Samantics in any good podcast app. And please support us on social media. All our links and handles are on screen now.
We love welcoming new followers and subscribers, so why not share with your family and friends so they can join in too? Thanks very much. See you next time.